Good morning at 7:04 on this Friday, April 25th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Friday morning, a fantastic Friday, and we thank you for joining us. We're on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust each Friday at this time, and this morning, Trey Geisenhofer is my guest here to do the commercial for the bank. He is Vice President and Office Manager. Trey, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Nice to see you again. I hope things are going well.
They are, yes, sir. Thanks for having me this morning.
And you are the office manager for which branch of Wilson Bank and Trust?
I am located at our North Mount Juliet Road location, right there at Old Lebanon Dirt Road. Been there at the bank for about 15 years now, but at that location for 4.
Were you office manager somewhere else before going there?
Oh, Coleman, I've been around Wilson Bank for a while, but I managed at our Providence location for 4 years before that, and then here actually in Lebanon for 4 years before that, managed that office. So here in our Tennessee Boulevard.
Well, I knew you'd been around for a while.
Yes,
and,
sir.
It sounds like you enjoy what you're doing. You like being a banker.
I do. I enjoy it, and the bank's been good to me, and the community's been good to me as well. So I get to play banker during the day, and I joke with my wife, and she gets to manage our family, and I get to manage the bank during the day. So,
all right. Well, you are here, among other things, to talk about this morning, the 29th Annual Spring Meet Antique Car Show in Mount Juliet.
Yes, sir. We're excited about it. Coming up a week from Sunday, on May 4th, we've got our 29th Annual Antique Car Show. We've got a great event coming up, Coleman. Last year, we had over 200 cars at our location there in Mount Juliet. We expect another great turnout. The last several years, we've had great weather. Knock on wood, we'll have some good weather as well. We have a couple food vendors, food trucks that come out each year. We've got inflatables for the kids, really good family event. Starting from 8 a.m., registration starts from 8 to 10, and then the event runs to awards at 3 p.m. that afternoon.
Well, there's something about a car show that seems to bring people out, and maybe an antique car show even more. And if you're not that much into the cars or the antique cars, it's a happening and an opportunity to see people you might not see at other places and get reacquainted or fellowship, have some fun, whatever.
Absolutely. It's a great opportunity to bring the family out. We see folks, customers that we wouldn't maybe normally see on a normal basis, but folks come out on our campus and they get to come out. And like I said, we have inflatables out for the kids, so it's a good family event on our location, so feel free to come out.
Yeah, and I think just thinking about some of the things the bank does, different events, it seems that nearly everything you do is family oriented, something that is usually the whole family is going to be able to enjoy.
Yes, sir. We try to involve the family. We understand the importance of a family event and the kids. You know, we have a lot of our employees that have young families, and we appreciate that. And so as our communities, as we stay involved, we appreciate a good family event. And so we want to give back in ways that can really benefit the entire community. And this is just one way that we do that. And
well, I notice on your flyer here, it says you can contact Jim Pritchard and Glenn Edwards for more information about this. You familiar with these fellas a little bit?
They are. They're part of the regional car club that lead this on for us, and they handle all that. So they're actually the ones that kind of host everything, and they will be handling the registration, and we're really hosting the kind of the site and everything for it. But they'll be handling all the registration from 8 to 10 there on site for us.
Okay, May the 4th, and that a week from tomorrow?
That's actually a week from Sunday.
Oh, Sunday,
so
okay.
May the 4th,
Sunday,
yes,
May
sir.
4th. A week from Sunday. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Registration 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and awards at 3 p.m. And this is important to the location at the intersection of North Mount Juliet Road and Old Lebanon Dirt Road.
That's us, yes, sir.
All right, we got a couple of minutes here. The banking, We've seen interest rates come down a little, not as much as some would hope and like, and none of us has got that crystal ball, so to speak. But how's the year going, and what do you as a banker, anticipate for the next 8 months?
We anticipate rates, have still been a good opportunity for folks that have, looking to buy. I think it's still a good opportunity for first-time home buyers, folks looking to build, looking to do those remodels, all those opportunities, folks that have some cash that are looking to purchase some CDs, certificates of deposits, those kind of things, all those. It's still a good place and a good time to invest your money. We feel that the Fed has really kind of taken a position to keep rates kind of where they are. I mean, they're kind of looking at all those models, economic models, and said, hey, let's keep rates kind of where they're at for the time being. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing still today. And we've got some really good CD specials at all of our offices. So come out and we'll be happy to help you earn a little more on your dollar.
All right. Well, you have people who can give good advice, and of course, if it's investments of a different category, you've got that as well.
Absolutely.
You're not lacking much at all in any of that. I don't think, whether you're borrowing or saving or investing.
We do, especially in my office. Yes, sir. We've got our Raymond James team at our office that have certified financial planners that can help you talk through those retirement planning and those kind of things. And also we have personal bankers in my office that can help you with those certificate of deposits and everything from new accounts, children's savings, everything you're looking to do. And then even mortgage lenders in my office as well. They're at the North Mount Juliet Road location that I manage.
All right. Trey, thank you so much. Trey Geisnhofer, Vice President, Office Manager, Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Thank you much.
Thank you, Coleman.
Okay, we are 11 minutes after the hour, and Senator Mark Pody is here, and that means it's time for our Friday Senate report. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. What a great day to be alive.
Oh, it's almost May, and you're happy because the legislature has adjourned.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is a perfect time, Coleman. I want to kind of review where we are. And, the legislature, the 114th General Assembly, went in on the second Tuesday of January. That's what we have to do constitutionally. And here in Tennessee, we have 2 years for every General Assembly. So we just completed the first half of the General Assembly. And just kind of recap a little bit, when we went in, the governor almost immediately at the end of January called for a special session. And we did at that point to take a look at one of his most passionate agenda items, and that was to say school choice. And he's tried this for the last few years, has not been able to get very far. He was able to do a few counties at a time, and he said he wanted to do something for the entire state. And so it was passed that there'd be up to 20,000 kids that would be able to have a school choice as kind of a trial run if more people had signed up and there was, a shortage, we'd look at it again down the road to see if we should expand it or not. But the only thing we funded was those 20,000 original kids. If we ever want to expand it again, it's got to come back to the General Assembly before to go any farther. And that did pass. The second thing is that we were really hoping that something would happen here in the 17th District and Coleman, and that is the redistricting. When we redistricted, you have to do that every 10 years. And so all the Senate districts, all the House seats, everything has the same number of population that each person represents. And we redistricted the Senate district. There's 33 senators. And they took away a lot of the rural counties from me and gave me part of Davidson County. Well, that was actually sued, and we lost in original court. It was appealed. We lost in the appeals court. And now it's in the Supreme Court, this Tennessee State Supreme Court. And what it was saying is in Davidson County, all the Senate districts have to be numerically and sequentially in order. And right now in Davidson County, they have 19, 20, and 21. And those are the 3 Senate seats. The fourth one would ordinarily, according to the Constitution, would have to be either 18 or 22, and mine is number 17. So they sued on that, and the Republicans said, "Hey, this is what the Democrats have done for decades. They've done it this way for the past history," and the Republicans said as long as they've done it that way, nobody's challenged it. The Republicans did the same thing. However, it's been challenged, and we're waiting, and we really thought that was going to be decided before we went in session. Well, the Supreme Court's not taken that case and made a ruling on it. They've heard all the arguments. They heard them last October, and we have not heard what's going to happen with this seat and how the lines are going to be drawn yet. So it's still in court. It's been in there for 6 months. We don't know when they're going to rule on it.
If you had your druthers, I think you might prefer the rural area rather than Davidson County. Is that?
Well, I can tell you that the rural part of Tennessee, they align a whole lot more in the Republican values sometimes than what Davidson County does. There's a lot of great folks that I met in Davidson County, but it's a lot more liberal in Davidson County. I will tell you that when I came into Davidson County and we could look back in the history, there was a lot of fighting between Davidson County and the state. And I think that since I've been there, I've tried to be a bridge to make it where we're not arguing anymore. Now, we still fight, but we do it kind of in the mayor's office or in my office, and we can disagree there, but we're not doing it in Facebook, calling each other names and so forth. So we've really tried to tamp down, and I think it's been good for Davidson County as well as the state of Tennessee that we're both getting along a whole lot more, and Davidson County is getting more in support from Tennessee, and Tennessee's watching Davidson County grow. So it's been a very good partnership that I've been there, and I am the bridge. I'm the only Republican in Davidson County, so I've been able to bridge that between the Senate and the House as well as the Davidson County party itself.
But you don't really have a feel for the decision that's going to be made. I mean, they've got to make a decision sooner or later, haven't they? They can't just sit here and carry on forever like this.
That's correct, and they've said it can take up to a year.
Okay.
But so it's not totally uncommon that it's been sitting this long, but we had felt that if they were going to rule, we needed to be in session to redistrict. The courts can't change the lines, okay? They don't have that constitutional authority to change the lines. They can just say the lines are unconstitutional, and they got to give it back to the General Assembly to change it. And if they do it while we're out of session, we may have to come back into a special session or something to address that. And that is not always a good thing when we have a special session. So, but
well,
we're
for
waiting
one thing, it costs extra money, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So every time we have a special session, now the money's been set aside and it's in the budget for a special session. However, we would rather not have that. So we're waiting on the courts to do that, but you can't hurry the courts. We tried to call, they said just leave it be. They'll rule on it when they rule on it. So we're waiting on that.
Okay, time for us to take a break. Senator Mark Pody is here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And to 717, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1780 Franklin Road. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There's still some wet driving conditions out here as some storms move through certain parts of Middle Tennessee. You could get wet on 24 right now, coming up through Antioch in from Murfreesboro. Looking at the weather radar here, some of this rain could affect the traffic flow there on I-24 as you head up through the Antioch area, coming in on I-40 there in Wilson County, especially the Mount Juliet area. That's starting to load up pretty good, headed towards Hermitage on 40 going westbound. When you need dependable towing in Middle Tennessee, call STR Towing and Recovery, strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
Save time and money with a business account from Wilson Bank and Trust. Our great account benefits help you grow your business with online and mobile banking. No monthly fee for bill pay and low monthly balance requirements. You'll enjoy easier record keeping and tax reporting when you open a business account to keep your business expense separate from personal too. A business account helps preserve your personal liability protections from business obligations. Wilson Bank and Trust is here to get you there. Visit us at any of our 30 office locations across Tennessee or go online at wilsonbank.com. Member FDIC.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our Friday Senate report. Senator Mark Bodie. What else do you want to talk about?
So I'm still looking at the big picture of where we are. We passed 3 constitutional amendments that are going to be on the ballot next year. And in order to pass a constitutional amendment in Tennessee, it has to pass in 2 general sessions. So we had the 113th that passed them, and they had to pass them by half. And then they have to pass again the second General Assembly, and it has to be passed by 2/3. So the first one that we passed was going to be one about property tax. And it's going to say the state of Tennessee cannot ever have a property tax. You know, the counties have it and cities can have it, but the state itself could not have a property tax. So that'll be on the ballot. We've already passed something like that, saying we can't have an income tax. So this would say that the state could not have a property tax.
Have we ever had a property tax in Tennessee?
We have never had a property tax. However, Coleman, we don't know what the future is going to be, and we're trying to put in the guardrails right now to say the future General Assembly can't say, hey, we are short money and we need to do this because we can. So we're trying to say, you know what, property taxes would be more local, and the state's not going to have that opportunity. The second one we passed is going to be about victims' rights. And right now, some of the victims are saying, look, when people are getting out or when they're having hearings, we're not even notified. And so we've gone ahead and passed a piece of legislation in the Constitution that says this is what the victims are going to be having. So if there's a crime committed against them, here's the rights that they would have, and we're going to put that in the Constitution. Now, here I'm going to tell you, we got a great DA, we got great public defenders, great judicial system in Wilson County. We're one of the best in the state. However, not across the state, it's not that way. And we believe that it should be where our victims are at least informed of what's happening. They're victims for a reason. Somebody did something against them, and they need to be informed. So that's going to be on the ballot as well. And then the third one is going to be bail. Now, the bail one's going to be a little bit more touchy, but this is going to be for the most horrendous crimes. Should we deny bail for those individuals? But they're not convicted. They're just being charged. So the question is, should those individuals have the bail denied because of the type of crime they're being charged with, not that they're convicted with, and so that's going to be on the ballot as well.
So what is actually on the ballot? What are people voting for or against here?
If we should deny bail for the most horrendous crimes.
Okay.
And that's going to be a question. We've not seen how it's going to be written on the ballot, but those are going to be the 3 constitutional amendments on the ballot that pass this year. I don't think there's any other ones pending, but we'll have to see what's filed next year. But we know that 3 of them are going to be on the...
So each one of them stands alone. 2 could be voted for, 1 could be voted down.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And what will happen is they can only be on the ballot during a gubernatorial election. And so we have a gubernatorial election next year, and it's going to be not total vote, but it's going to say, okay, did they get at least whatever the half of whatever the governor's race was plus 1. Mm-hmm. So we'll be watching that, and I know there'll be a lot of push independently by sides and both sides of these constitutional amendments to see if they'll pass or not.
Is there a lot of opposition, and maybe especially on the one regarding bail?
There are some that they're saying, look, that the Constitution says that we are innocent until proven guilty, and therefore we have the right to bail, and that's in the Constitution as well. However, there's the argument saying that these are very, very horrendous crimes. Don't put them back out on the street, and they've got the right to a fair trial and the speedy trial. So we'll see how that goes and what it looks like.
What do you think about opposition from the first 2 that we talked about here?
I don't think
less probably.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any opposition on property tax. We are a very, very, very good financially and fiscally conservative state. In fact, there was a report that was just put out, and it's called Rich States, Poor States. And Tennessee ranked really well in that report as well.
You sent me a copy of that, and then we're 12th. 12th richest in the country.
We are one of the absolute best. For the amount of taxes we put in, we're one of the lowest tax states in the rate. For the amount of debt that Tennessee has per person, we're one of the absolute lowest in the nation. So we are fiscally very, very, very solvent. And Tennesseans, they don't want a property tax on another property tax. So I think that's going to fly right through. And victims' rights, I think, will fly right through as well. We'll just see on the bail one what that looks like.
Right.
Then the next thing that we did was the budget, Coleman, and that was what we had to pass to be constitutionally, when we're elected and we swear our oath, we have to pass a budget that is balanced, and by balanced it means the reoccurring expenses line up with the reoccurring income that we have. We wanted to be a really good conservative budget. We did. Now look, it was just about $60 billion, 59.8, and we could always pick and choose, okay, and say, boy, I don't like that one part or this line, and I could do that as well. But overall, we didn't do too bad on our budget as well, so that was good. Next year, when we come into the second part of the session, there's going to be less bills filed, and the reason is the House has limited themselves to the average of only 10 bills. And where that means each House member, unless they're a chairman, is going to have just 10 bills that they can file. That's going to make it a lot more laser focused as far as what bills are going to be passed, because if you only got 10 slots, you got to make sure that each one of your bills matter, and you're doing something that's going to be very significant. So we know that the second half is going to be less bills going through, but I think there'll be more substantive bills. And then the other thing that we did, and I have worked on this, Coleman, and I've been here on the show for years, and it's going to say our infrastructure. And I've said, and I'm chairman, I'm vice chairman of the Transportation Committee, so I'm very, very aware of how much money we need to do in our roads. And I have been saying we've got to have more reoccurring money for TDOT, for our Department of Transportation, and to get our potholes fixed, to get our roads expanded, to get the new roads built. And then we've got to have reoccurring money that's going to be indexed, so it's going to go up, so we don't have to keep passing something to say we're short again next year. And I want to do it with no new taxes. So I've been advocating to say, hey, what about the sales tax that we're already collecting on cars? So if we sell a car, whether it be electric or gas or so, whatever kind of car it'll be, take that sales tax and put it into the Department of Transportation budget, as well as tires and things like that. So we've been working on that. Well, finally, one of those had passed, and it was the tire. So any taxes we get on tires is now going to go directly into the road fund, and that is a big win for us. And I know it's going to meet all the criteria I was laying out, because tires, what we pay for them today, 5 years are going to cost more. So we know that this fund is going to continue to grow, where the gas tax is a totally flat tax.
Do you anticipate more when you come back even next year or in subsequent years that we will come up with more things that we spend money on for automobiles, for transportation, that the sales tax from that will go for?
Yep. Yes, sir. I'm already
just a start.
This is a start. I'm already running the same bill again to say I want the taxes. Now, what I may have to do is do it incrementally and say, hey, just maybe on just the new cars or just on the used cars or something along that line, so it's not as big of a bite, because the tires was just one bite of what we need. And I've been trying to do the whole thing, and we may have to break it down. We did get the tire one done this time, and that's $80 to $95 million of new money going into our roads. That is a significant number. We need that. So we're working really hard, and I got to fight to do something like that again next year. It's on my list.
What have you heard from your constituents regarding what's been done, say, since January in this edition of the General Assembly here? Has it been pretty positive? Have you been a lot of negative vibes or what?
It has actually been a very good year for us. Now I will tell you, got off to a rocky start, and that was with the special session. Coleman had passed the school choice bill, but how it was done, the process, I didn't care for the process. I think it should have gone through regular session. People did not get to share what their thoughts were. It happened so fast, within a week. School board members, I've heard from so many people saying, I'm not against totally what the school choice idea would be, but could we have tweaked it? We didn't have time to share and to weigh in and to even testify. And I think that the process was not as good as it could have been. However, that part aside, I think it's been a really good year for us. We haven't had a lot of complaints. In fact, we've had some of the fewest complaints I've ever had since I've been up here. So overall, it was good that way.
All right, we got about a minute and a half. We gone through all your notes already?
I got one more,
Right,
okay?
one more.
And it was this. The governor sent me a letter and saying that he wasn't going to sign one of my bills. He didn't veto it, but and he's never vetoed a bill up there yet. I have had some of my bills vetoed by Haslam, but so this is the first time the governor's let me know that he wasn't going to sign it. It was to say that no matter what, that the governor can never suspend the Constitution. And I passed that piece of legislation, and it's in place right now. I know we did the stuff with COVID. I know that there's things that go on, but I made sure that we stood up for that. And even in emergency powers and emergency deals, our Constitution stands.
So it's just going to be going to pass. It's going to be a law without his signature.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it already is. It's already done.
Okay.
And so, but that was unique because I'm one of the first people that's happened to in the state General Assembly underneath Governor Lee.
Okay, we've come about the end of our time here. I've just got time to say that you're going to be with us a couple of times each month now that the legislative session is over. So May through December, we will have you probably on alternate Fridays, but not every Friday. But we're not going to go for 8 months without seeing you. So,
Coleman, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I am too. And thanks again for all you do for all of us, and we certainly appreciate you being with us each Friday, and we're not going to lose you for the rest of the year, so that's good too. That is part one of Coleman & Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's moving a lot better than it was 20 minutes ago on 24 westbound up past Haywood Lane, where we've already had a series of accidents earlier on 24 as you work your way up through Antioch. It's starting to get a little bit heavier coming in from Wilson County through the Mount Juliet area on into Hermitage on 40 going westbound. There's been a few wrecks over there in Hermitage already this morning. Again, there's still see some rain showers affecting certain parts of Middle Tennessee this morning. When you need dependable towing here in Middle Tennessee, call STR Towing and Recovery. Check out strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Medina, what did Mama always say? Mama said treat others as you would want to be treated. Mama always said be honest and fair. Mama said listen to what your customers want and try to help make their dreams come true. Yes, we celebrate Mother's Day. Remember what Mama always said. Don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
Mama said there'll be days like this.
We'll have mostly cloudy skies with thunderstorms likely for today. Highs will be in the lower 70s. Occasional rain showers will continue for tonight. Lows in the lower 60s and then partly cloudy on Saturday. Slight chance of a rain shower. Highs in the mid 70s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your severe view forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
Coleman & Company, welcome to part two of Friday morning. Time for us to entertain the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, and we're glad to have Miss Judy with us this morning. We're glad to have Miss Medina, and good morning to both of you.
Good morning. So you're going to entertain us? Okay, we're waiting.
If I said that was probably a misstatement. You're probably going to entertain us. But anyway, Judy Cox, Medina Himmentoller, C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, located at 1330 West Main Street in Lebanon. They are great people, offering great service. They're people you can trust. And we learn a lot from you, Miss Judy. You could have been a school teacher. I really think.
Oh, wouldn't that have been great? I'd probably be in jail the first day nowadays.
But anyway, you're here. What you got for us today?
Well, we were thinking about. On the way here, I was thinking, okay, what I need to tell him about something we hadn't talked about is mainly about when you have a real estate agent and you see an advertisement for a house and you read all the description about it, and then you go look at it and you put an offer on it, then all of a sudden you got a contract and you're buying it. Well, when you get to that stage, there is a period there of inspection period that you have to check out everything. Well, most people think it's just a home inspection or a pest inspection or a septic inspection. But there's a lot of odd things that your agent should be looking for you for, Mr. Buyer, or you can look for it yourself. Because one of the main things is the deed restrictions. A lot of people buy something, and especially right now we have a lot of people moving from out west, and their dream is, I want 50 acres and a tractor, and I'm going to have me a farm, and I'm going to have me a pig farm.
Green acres.
That's right. That's what we have a lot of those right now, honestly. Trust me.
Yeah.
And what happens is people get that farm and they're closing, and then they're fixing to start their pig farm. Well, guess what? On the restrictions it says no swine. So, because on deed restrictions it says you can have cattle or horses or whatever, or what you can't have. And a lot of deed restrictions in Wilson County says no swine. So you can't have them. You have a guy come here wanting a pig farm.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Look in deeds. There's a lot of them, and just like now, of course, the poultry has been a big thing in the city limits because people want to have 3 chickens so they can have some eggs and that kind of thing. So you need to look at the restrictions. And also, we've talked a little bit before, like shared driveways. Well, people go, they can see a driveway. If there's other houses down that drive, they might think, oh, that is a shared driveway. But what if there is no other houses down that road at that point? Well, down the road, somebody owns land down through there. They're going to build. Well, guess what? They're coming to your door. I'm coming down this drive because in the deed it says it's a shared driveway. And you don't know that because how many people, your own house, what does your deed say on your restrictions? Most people look at it's got to be a house with so much square footage and it's got to be so much brick or so much wood, so much stone, those kind of restrictions. But there's lots of other things in deed restrictions. We have some properties that says the property when it's sold cannot be divided. So you got to think about these things. There's lots of things people put in a deed that transfers from property owner to property owner. And some of them have a time frame, just like a lot of restrictions have a 10-year or a 25-year. And it says if they're not renewed, then they go away. And then some of them say they have to be renewed by so much majority of the surrounding owners. So you've got to look at those kind of things.
There's a lot of fine print, isn't there?
There's a lot of fine print. But how many people right now, your own house, what do you think your deed restriction says? Besides, it's got to be so much square foot and that kind of thing.
I have no idea.
And you have to look at that. And we always think about things like that. And like in the inspection, okay, you've had a home and you've been there 20 years. Well, a long time ago, the dog had an accident on the hardwood in the living room. Well, it wouldn't come up, and the hardwood has got a big stain on it, so you put a big area rug there. And it stays there all these years, and when you sell your house, you don't think about, oh, I forgot all about that stain under that rug. And people, when they go look at a house, you got to look under the rugs and pull up things because some people know it's there, and they're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Some people forgot all about it. And they're not trying to hide something. And then like when people buy a home, is there a sex offender living down the street? And you can put in your address and find out if there is one within so many miles of you. And if you got children especially, and a lot of people come in here from out west, that's one of the first questions they ask. Where's the sex offender list? And we're like, well, okay. So you got to put the address in and find. And a school system's another issue. They go, just maybe you lived in Tucker's Crossroads all your life. Your kids went to Tucker's Crossroads, and you're selling your house, and you on your home disclosure you put schools Tucker's Crossroads. The agent lists it as Tucker's Crossroads. You get ready to buy it, or you've bought it, and you get ready to send your kids to Tucker's Crossroads, and they got to go to Watertown. Because the school systems have changed and the zones are constantly changing. So as the buyer and the buyer's agent, you need to dig this stuff out if kids and schools are important to you before you close on that house. And don't assume because it's got a Watertown address or a Lebanon address that they're going to a certain school. And also, too, on your taxes, there are homes in Wilson County that's got a Lebanon address that are in Smith County. A lot of those. So you got to be, you think, oh, I'm buying a house that's Lebanon, Tennessee. Guess what? You're in Smith County taxes. And that's okay if that's what you want. You just need to know these things because the taxes are different in Smith County and Wilson County. So the deed restrictions, and used to when you sold a house, you brought your deed to the closing. Well, now people don't do that. Most people don't even know where their deed is. And you can go to the courthouse and get a copy of it. And you don't have to bring it to closing anymore because the attorneys take care of all that. And you always want to use an attorney to close. Don't just use somebody that has got a notary can sign stuff. Use an attorney to close. They dig all this stuff out with the title work. So that's just a few little things to watch for.
Boy.
Just a few things off the top of my head.
Medina, what do you got for us?
I bet you're going to the courthouse after this, aren't you?
I'm thinking about getting my deed out and reading it.
Well, while you're doing that, we have some another listing that we've got coming up here that's going to be active next week, and it's in Watertown, and it's a 26-acre farm with a house that is immaculate. It's 3,600 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms and 2 full baths. And it's immaculate. You don't have to do anything. It's one of those farms that is horse ready, cattle ready, however, whatever animal you've got. Bring it with you, and it's a move-in ready home. So it's in Watertown. It's close to the interstate, but it's far enough away that you don't hear the interstate. And it's at 1.395 is the price on that. So $1,395,000. So give us a call on that one. That one will be coming up next week. You'll start seeing videos and pictures of it next week online and on the MLS. Give us a call there. And then we have Spencer, Tennessee. We have the 133-acre lot or farm. It's a generational farm, and it has a 5-acre lake on it. So give us a call. That one is $1.7 million. And if you're looking for a townhouse, give us a call here in Lebanon. We've got several you can look at. If you are looking to be in Hermitage, we have a house. It's a brick 1-level house, and it's at 608 Frankfort Drive, and it's in the $400,000 range. Okay. So give us a call there. If you're looking to move, you're looking to list, give us a call. We can do anything to deal with real estate, as you have heard from Judy. We can do anything. So give us a call, and if our sign is not in your yard or a yard, and you would like to give us a call, we'd like to talk to you at 615-443-3130. And remember, Coleman.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Don't make a move without us.
There you go.
You're getting good with that.
Oh, I didn't know whether you were waiting for me to say it or not. I didn't want to steal your line.
And don't forget to call Realtor of the Year.
That's right. The Realtor of the Year, Miss Medina. Y'all have a great one. We'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
Judy Cox, Medina Hemmentoller, C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty. And again, don't make a move without us. We're about 19 before the hour. Jamie Phillips joins us this morning to talk about the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And how are you?
I'm doing well.
You know what? Those two ladies sometimes can be somewhat of a tough act to follow. But anyway, it's nice to see you today, and good to always talk about the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center, which we try to do each Friday. The last Friday of each month. That's when you're scheduled. Every once in a while, the calendar calls for another time. Maybe if it's Thanksgiving, we do it on a Wednesday or some other time. But usually the last Friday of the month, you're sitting right here, and you always have a lot of information, especially what we're going to be doing the next month. And here we are almost to the end of April, and May is just around the corner, and I see you've got the May refrigerator sheet there. That's what we call it. It's a nice legal size piece of paper with all the activities of the month that you'll send out the flyer that has some advertisement and some more information. But this is a summary of what is sent out, and I like to have both. One sits on the kitchen table, and the other one we get 2 copies. One's on the refrigerator and one's on my desk. So we keep up with where we're supposed to be. Anyway, you do that, right?
I do.
Well, where you want to start this morning?
Well, we do have a lot going on in May. And if you have your newsletter, you'll see that
every day we have something or multiple things. So let's start with the yard sale.
All right.
It's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, and our yard sale is next Saturday from 7 to 2. The room is filling up. We'll close early on Friday.
Is that May the 3rd?
May the 3rd.
All right, Saturday, May 3rd.
There's our boutique. They have a lot going on in there. And those are things that you could shop every day, not just at the yard sale. So that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Spreading the word about that. On May 4th, Sunday, May 4th, we're having another spring sale. We've done that. We did a holiday sale and then a spring sale early in April. But Tina Kaysen, she is hosting a spring sale on Sunday, May 4th. So you can come and shop different vendors, someone that might not be there on market day, just a different variety of things.
All right. So that's actually the 3rd and 4th
Yes.
sale both days at the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center.
Yep. Saturdays, the yard sale is from 7 to 2, and then Sunday is 10 to 2.
All right. Okay. So a lot of bargains, no doubt.
Right.
And a variety of things to choose from, as usual.
Absolutely. We have, like I said, we have so much going on. I try to stay in order, but I'm going to start with a special announcement page and just go from there. May 17th, Bill Feathers and the guys from his band will come and we'll do a Saturday evening dance. Those have been going really well. We've done Road West a few times, but Bill Feathers reached out and we are more than happy to have him. He's great. So that is May 17th. It's a Saturday from 6 to 8.
I'm thinking he has been there from time to time in the past, maybe even before you became activities director in years ago. Now, I'm not that big on the music and the dancing especially, but there are a lot of people who are, and I've heard good things about him.
Yes, he's good. He's really good. That dance is just $5 a person, and of course, that just comes back to the center, and we can continue our mission. Hearing Health Center is doing some hearing screenings on Monday, May 19th. They're free, of course, and that's from 10 to 12. But if you currently are wearing hearing aids or you've done a hearing test recently, they ask that you do not sign up because they want to save those for those people who think they don't need those hearing aids.
Oh.
So we know a few of them, huh?
Well, what about those who know they do and still have problems?
Well, it sounds like the issue there is acknowledgement. So they should probably just go get the hearing aids.
All right. I'm being a little facetious here.
Oh, you're fine. We have partnered with UT Extension. So they just finished a round of a class called A Matter of Balance. And in May, they start another round of that same class. The max capacity is 15, but they are also doing something called Stay Strong, Stay Healthy, which is a weighted class and it progresses. So both courses are 8 weeks. And if you're interested in that, you just call to the center. I can tell you more about it. Or you could even call UT Extension and ask for Samantha or Lesline, and they can tell you all about it. Like I said, it is a commitment. Stay Strong and Stay Healthy is 2 days a week, Tuesdays at 9 a.m., Thursdays at 2, and then A Matter of Balance is Fridays at 9:30. So both are great programs, and we have a lot of stuff with UT Extension coming up. So in June, July, all kinds of stuff going on. So look forward to that. It's a lot of different stuff.
I just got so interested in listening to you, I wasn't paying attention to the clock. We're probably a couple of minutes late here, but it is time for a break, so I'm going to interrupt you. We'll take a break right here, and more with Jamie coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day up to 30 days after the sale. oil. There'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Clearing up a couple of wrecks we had earlier. One in Whites Creek. It's in its wrap-up stages. 4800 block of Licton Pike. They're still working with that crash over in Donaldson at Cloverdale, right at McGavick Pike. Pinhook and Murfreesboro Pike. Two cars slammed together there in Antioch. Starting to load again with some volume here on 24 westbound as you come in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, passing Bell Road. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on the menu. Check them all out this weekend. Order online. It's easy. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Drug Free Wilco is partnering with local law enforcement for National Prescription Drug Take Back on April 26 from 10 to 2. Drop off your medications at one of these 4 locations: Gibbs Pharmacy, Walgreens on West Main, Three Forks Marketplace, and TriStar Mount Judd ER. Unused medications may lead to accidental poisoning, overdose, or misuse. Drop them off Saturday, April 26 from 10 to 2 and receive a free lot box from Drug Free Wilco. This project is funded under a grant contract with State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Hi, Phoenix fans. My name is Jake Green. I'm a senior pitcher on the Cumberland baseball team from Thomasville, Georgia. We have a huge week of baseball coming up against top 10 teams. We host the number 9 ranked Patriots at the University of Cumberland. Come to the 6 for a crucial Mid-South Conference series as we celebrate our senior weekend. You can hear every pitch on these radio stations or online at gocumberlandathletics.com or wantfm.com. Tune in and help us win the conference championship. Check the CU website for game times and more. Let's go, Phoenix.
We continue here for this Friday morning. Jamie Phillips is with us, the activities director for the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center. Is featured once a month here. We find out what's going on with our senior citizens and activities. And you might mention real quickly again what you started out with. You've got a sale coming up next Saturday and another one on Sunday over there.
Yes.
And people rent booth space.
Mm-hmm.
And
we do have vendor availability for both days, actually. On Saturdays, the vendors would be outside. Because, our yard sale, of course, takes all of the inside. But that's Saturday, May 3rd, from 7 to 2, we have our fundraiser yard sale. And then on Sunday, May 4th, we have a spring sale, which is all about vendors coming in and selling their different items. That's from 10 to 2. So just get with us about it.
All right, just another reminder of that, what you mentioned earlier. All right, pick it up where we left off.
All right. Friday, I did mention because of the yard sale, we were closing early on Friday the 2nd. We'll be closing at 1 p.m. Of course, we still have our same tournaments throughout the month: cornhole, rook, spades. This month in April, we just started a ceramic painting class. So that's really new. That's not on the actual calendar for May, but I'm meeting with her when I leave here today to schedule something. So if you're interested in painting ceramics, just look for that information on our Facebook, because we're going to schedule something and it's going to be in addition to the May calendar. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. I did it. I painted this little girl. It was super cute. We have so much. Bocce ball starts in May. Starts May 7th.
Is that John and Jenny?
John and Jenny, yep. I always go unless I can't, and unfortunately I will not be at the first day of bocce ball, but John has graciously said he would do it for me, so that's good.
They've asked me, and that's something I haven't gotten into. I still say one of these days I'm probably going to try it, but it's a little bit different game, and it's played off campus, we might say.
Yes, it's on the bocce ball courts behind Family IMED. It's an easy game, I think, as far as like activity level, type. It's not hard. You just have to be precise. Uh-huh. You have this little Polino and you have these other balls, and you just have to get as close to that Polino as possible. And kind of like shuffleboard, you get to knock the other person out. So, if you like to do that, Coleman, you can. you can certainly.
I ought to have a reputation for that, don't I?
You should try it sometime. My only complaint is that it's hot. That's it.
That's usually in the morning, isn't it?
Yes. We start at 9:30, and it goes, I guess, probably until about 11. And you can come and go if you want, play a game, and be done. It's up to you.
But you like that.
I do.
You play.
I do. I do play.
Yeah.
If they have enough players, I'll just watch. But
Is it a tournament type thing?
no, it's just open play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We, of course, Bible study. We try our best to alternate different churches throughout the month. Hillcrest is one. They call me and say, "Hey, can we do this?" So they've done Bible study the last 2 months, but of course we have a new church coming in May. And like I said, I try my best to alternate those. But everyone, I think the Bible study is picking up, and it's a great time for those that
If
attend.
some church or group would like to have the Bible study, are you open?
Absolutely.
To give the center a call.
Yep.
For you.
They would just commit to that month, Wednesday mornings at 10:30. So if any church is interested in doing that, definitely just call the center and ask for me. I can get you scheduled.
How long does it last? Is it an hour, 30, 40 minutes?
It's 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to put a time on that, If the
Kind
Lord
of
is
depends
speaking
on
to
maybe
you.
the subject and how, and
Right.
sometimes it depends on how long-winded the speaker is.
Yep, that's true.
That's true. That's true.
That's very true.
No,
Yes.
in a lot of situations.
So definitely if
It reminds me of a joke I heard about this particular. This guy was explaining to his son what the church service was like and everything, and then the little boy had been kind of observant, and he says, "Well, what does it mean when Brother So and So takes his watch off and looks at it?" And the father says, "Son, it doesn't mean a thing." Anyway, go ahead.
Trivia. That's a thing. If you like trivia, come in and join. At some point, they're going to go and battle the St. Clair in Murfreesboro and see who's better at trivia. I had mentioned cornhole before. Of course, cornhole 3 times a month. Cornhole simplified once a month. So if you want to start at the basics, learn the game, and then go up to the regular cornhole game, you can absolutely do that. We suggest that's where you start if you're not familiar. But it is.
Yeah, hone your skills a little bit in the beginner class.
Yeah.
If you'd like to see how good you can. There's some over there that are pretty good instructors for that.
Yep. Lee Welch, he's kind of headed up that class, and we're so gracious to him for doing that. He's a great coach. Janet called him Coach Lee for the whole time that she was playing. And
right. And we do have shuffleboard now that the weather's warmer.
Yep, shuffleboard. That's
3 times, maybe?
I think it's on here twice a month, but of course, I always say if you guys want to play and it's not on the schedule, you know where the sticks are. So you know where the pucks are. So we can get it out for you if you'd like, but you're always welcome to play if something doesn't interest you on the calendar.
Okay, we got about 4 minutes left. I know you hadn't covered it all.
No, not quite. Music, of course, music jam, music with, there's a new guy, Bob Johnson. He sings a different genre of music. He came from California, so he's really good. Of course, JW, he's excellent. So if you like music, definitely come and check out one of those 3 days. They really are all so good.
Did you mention karaoke?
I haven't yet. I haven't made it to that
Well,
week yet.
that's another one to add to the music.
Yep, that is true. We'll go ahead and skip there. Karaoke with Dennis Boom. He comes in every 3rd Tuesday of the month, and we're always looking for people to attend karaoke. Even if you're not good, just come and have a good time. Yes. Yeah. Floral arrangement class. Humana has started sponsoring a floral arrangement class. There's no instruction, but if you sign up for that, you get to come in and make your own bouquet of flowers. Everything is provided to you at no cost. So it does have a cap on the class, so you have to, call quick on May 1st to get into that. On May 23rd, Friday, May 23rd, the fire department is grilling hamburgers and hot dogs for us. Of course, we have our max capacity of inside at 175 and curbside at 125. So if you want to have lunch with us on May 23rd, make sure you call and sign up to do that. That's always a big hit. And, of course, that's to celebrate Memorial Day.
And we appreciate the fire department.
Yes, we absolutely do. So, of course, we'll be closed on Memorial Day, the 26th. And, of course, painting with Joyce, card making with Joyce, crafts with Diane, jewelry with Janet, all of those things are always on the calendar. So.
And meals, we eat lunch every day if we're open.
Yep.
And normally it's $4, except on Friday when it's $5. And when there's fried chicken, if you get the breast, you have to pay $6.
Yep. Monday through
I like
Friday.
the breast and not much of the rest, but
yeah, I gotcha.
anyway, it's worth it.
Yeah, there is a few menu changes. I'm going to be passing out those today. Just I don't know what happened, but there's 3 days that I didn't change the menu from last month.
Oh.
So I don't know what happened there, but I've corrected it. So I'm going to hand out those flyers today. So,
okay.
It was on the new menu, and it didn't get from the paper to the computer. So I don't know what happened there. But anyways.
Let's blame it on the computer.
Yeah, let's do that. Sounds good.
All right. Well, you've just gotten a summary of all the activity here for the month of May at the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center, and there's a lot of card playing that you haven't mentioned, and there's so much. There's something for everybody.
Oh, they're going to start Pinochle. A Pinochle group. I have no idea what that is, but
well, it's a card game. That's all I know.
They come to me and asked, so we're going to look at starting that up in June once a week. So cards always.
All right. Well, Jamie, thanks for being with us today. I think you've covered May really well, and it's good to see you, of course, and hopefully I'll see you at lunch.
I'll see you there.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this Friday and for this week. Have a nice weekend, everybody. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.